And then there really is no majesty or aura or glory behind Manchester United and behind the shirt and players who want to play for that, or Arsenal or Chelsea or Manchester City. Not that anyone's saying that about Manchester City, but you get the point. None of that's real. None of that's real. If the only way you maintain dominance is by spending more than everyone because you make the most on TV.
We have to talk about Chelsea and Roman Abramovich and everything kind of going on. The sanctions that have been placed on him, and then now Chelsea. I thought it was just going to be kind of focus on Roman Abramovich's assets.
He owns them. They chop. That's one of his assets.
Right. So, and I didn't think they would be as harsh a penalty to the degree where they're actually like freezing credit cards and they're asking Thomas Tuchel like, well, who's gonna pay for the snacks and stuff?
Yeah,
like they're asking him everything, like as he knows what is supposed to happen of how this business is supposed to be.
So
run.
what is it? They're only allowed. The sanctions have adjusted, but the initial thing was $500,000 only per game for like security and stuff. They're not allowed to sell tickets, so only season ticket holders can now come in because they've already made those purchases.
Right. They can't sell more tickets. So any tickets that have already been sold are fine.
Yeah. So they can't sell anymore. But like when this happens when we travel, they release tickets for the game like a couple weeks in advance. So most of the next few upcoming games are going to be, I think only 20,000 fans are going to be there. Right? Okay. I think because that's how many season tickets they've sold. Imagine being a season ticket holder and not going to a game. I mean, you better sell that ticket for a lot of money, bro. Okay. They also asked the fans to stop chanting Roman Abramovich's name, which I get because he's being sanctioned and he's not a great guy. But if you're a Chelsea fan, he did bring you every trophy. Right?
I could see the appreciation, yes.
If you can compartmentalize the horrific things that man had to do to get that money, right? Or had to sort of take a blind eye to. If you could do that and just think of him as your owner, I can't blame you for loving the man for that.
I mean,
for being the owner.
I guess I would have more of an issue with that than somebody doing a Sue celebration in like you're more passionate about the Sue celebration.
What if Roman Abramovich did the Sue celebration?
Wearing a Chelsea shirt.
No, he owns Chelsea. Maybe, what if that's the way he left England? Sue on his super yacht.
The specifics. I don't know what Chelsea are going to do. I mean, they have to sell the team very quickly, right? That seems to be what they're kind of forcing.
But either it goes into administration. If at any point they go into negative arrears, like they go into like unsolvent, right? Like they can't pay the staff or whatever. It immediately goes into administration, which is what happened to the Rangers. Right. So they may be dissolved.
Derby County as well.
They may be dissolved as a club and then allowed to restart at the lowest level or something crazy like that. Yeah, which would be insane to see. I mean, I get it. People in England, like, they have no history anyway, but still, like, recent history would suggest they're the champions of Europe. You don't want to see them competing in League Two.
Or
would they start non-league?
I mean, how severe should the punishment be exactly? Like, I mean, I don't know what the penalty should be or not. It's just kind of a wild situation for a club that especially has been so successful. What I'm more interested in is the dynamic between fans. Like fans are now, roast Chelsea, make fun of Chelsea. They've been very successful.
Do.
Like, please go for it. But then there are these conversations about should we think more ethically about like who owns our club and who is the custodian? Where are they getting their money from? And
Newcastle ownership says no.
And that's the thing, right? Because even with the jokes, like if a Newcastle fan makes fun of Chelsea fans, it's like, all right,
were you laughing at?
The context of the joke doesn't feel, it's just like it feels less funny because it feels a bit more hypocritical. But is this a thing that we should even really be discussing? Because it generally feels like we all know what's going on. We've all accepted it. We all want our clubs to be successful. We all want to have the banter over our rival.
Right.
And this is the cost of that, where sometimes the money comes from maybe a place of not the most ethically sourced way to make money.
Okay, so you have to suspend that part of it, right? When you are a fan of a club, because you are a fan of essentially a cartoon over a heart, a color of a shirt, and sometimes the name on the back. At the end of the day, you love a specific group of people or a group of people that play under a specific banner that kick a ball. Are you really, can you turn your back on a club because of the owner?
Well, I like this. John Cartrit said, time for 50+1. It's what they do in Germany, which is,
mostly.
Yeah.
Unless you're RB Leipzig.
When we were in Germany, this was a topic of conversation. It came up a lot, and German football fans it's something that they're really, really proud of, and they're not willing to accept what other leagues have done to be more successful. They don't want that for their club. They like having say and control over what the club does, what it represents, how it's run. And I can see if you're willing to give up, and if you have like those ethics and morals, and you're willing to give up winning Champions League every year and being
which might not have to happen if you're Bayern. Right. They're 50+1.
They are, but the team is run just in such a, it's in such a good way, and they also bring in a lot of money. They're obviously one of the most popular clubs in the world, but it's a fair question because.
Crimson Pizza said, I say we turn it into a reality show and have people compete to be new owners. So you think you could run a football club?
Look, Jamal Allen said, LOL, 50+1 can't work in England.
But why? Don't just say that. Why?
Why can't it work?
Why? Here's the thing. If you can't be both, you can't say that you have the greatest club in the world and say it will completely fall apart if you don't spend the most money. Then you don't have the greatest clubs in the world. If you think the best players will immediately run to La Liga or immediately run to PSG or immediately run to Bayern, if you're not spending the money you're spending, then you ain't the greatest league and you ain't the greatest club in the world. And then there really is no majesty or aura or glory behind Manchester United and behind the shirt and players who want to play for that, or Arsenal or Chelsea or Manchester City. Not that anyone's saying that about Manchester City, but you get the point. None of that's real. None of that's real. If the only way you maintain dominance is by spending more than everyone because you make the most on TV, and if the people only watching that TV because of the players you bought, then you've stuck yourself in that economy and you can't get out. If people aren't willing to play for your team or your club or your league strictly for the love of that badge and make a little bit less money, then you're not that big of a deal.
Right. And
you can't claim that.
And it's still a lot of money, right? It's a little bit. It's quite
a lot. A tiny bit less.
And I think
Jamal explains it. He said the reason why English league is more unpredictable and successful and the best league in the world is because of the billions in the game. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it is a. Not that it doesn't make sense, but
it doesn't equate.
It is.
So then you aren't the greatest. You're the highest paying.
Well, yeah, and that is. But I mean, the point of the most unpredictable, I don't agree.
Jess
with that.
Howen said Alexis is dead on. Guess other people do.
I don't think it's the most unpredictable, but it is the most successful. It's just. It's business. I mean, they got
me with the grind again.
They've done business better than other leagues. I mean,
what is it with this place?
When they rebranded, just the English Football League to separate and be the Premier League, it was because hey, we want to change the Division 1 to have a different aura. Like
they did it for the TV money.
Exactly. So they've ran the business better than other leagues. That's obvious, but
no, and this is the part I'm making. I'm saying the point I'm making is that no, I disagree with you. They didn't run the business better. They spent more money and drew more attention, which look, if you spend more, you will get more, right? You're investing in yourself. They make more TV money, so they have more money to spend than anyone else.
But that's good business. That's all I'm saying.
The point I'm trying to make is everyone says, they love, people, Flex says this all the time, the people want to play for the shirt, the Manchester United shirt. If you're paying less than Real Madrid, no, they don't. If all of a sudden you're paying less than Bayern, they don't care about that. Maybe a few kids that grew up in Manchester that actually like Manchester United, that's great-grandfather was a fan of the team, maybe you'll get a few of those. But no, Apple as an organization, Google as an organization can't sit there and pay you half as much as Bing and expect the greatest employees to come. It just don't work like that.